Hello. After a couple of weeks to prepare for the upcoming the active update of Seasons of the Wormcult, I am now ready to start going over subclassing builds. It's an exciting time in the Elder Scrolls Online. You can virtually make thousands of different combinations of builds, and I have selected what I feel is a very, very good combination for tanking and for most group content for tanking, I should say. So let's go over the build that I've made here. This is a Dragonknight, Arcanist, and Necromancer. So I have Earthen Heart, Bone Tyrant, and Soldier of Apocrypha here. So I'll go over the passives from Earthen Heart. Mainly I'm using Magma Shell on the back bar and Ingenious Shield on the front bar there. Eternal Mountain gives increases duration of the abilities by 20%, so that's a good one. You get the resource regeneration when you use an ultimate. You can give your group Minor Brutality once every 20 seconds. And then if you're in combat, you also generate 3 ultimate once every 6 seconds. Then this is a big one. This is a stamina regeneration method. Every time you cast this shield using Magicka, you regain stamina. You can very easily hold block, cast something that shuts your stamina or uses your stamina. Holding block shuts your stamina off. So if you hit the shield, there it goes. I'm holding block the entire time. And as you can see, my stamina is going back up. So that's a very useful passive right there, the Helping Hands passive from the Earthen Heart ability. So Bone Tyrant, I have Necrotic Potency on the front bar, and I have Summoner's Armor on the back bar. Summoner's Armor is extremely powerful for a couple of reasons. One, it combines major and minor resolve in one button, so that you free up bar space. You no longer have to have a major resolve skill and a minor resolve skill. That's extremely useful in the subclassing era here, because then you have more opportunities to plug other skills in from other skill lines from other classes and make your build even more powerful if you've got more space to use. The only other class you can do that with is the Nightblade, because their major resolve is passive. So if you use the minor resolve from the Nightblade, then you passively get major resolve. So that's the only other class that can do that. So why the other aspect of this being powerful is this disdain harm passive here. When you are under the benefit of a Tyrant skill, you get 15% reduced damage taken from damage over time. So this gives you just about 9,000 resistances, and then also keeps your damage over time resistance up as well. When an enemy dies, you get resources from this. Then you have an increased healing received while you have an ability slotted, and again I have an ability slotted on both bars. Then the last one is you have increased max health, a very good stat for tanks as well. So then we have the Soldier of Apocrypha skill line. Essentially right now the only skill I'm using is the Runic Sunder. This is a very, very good skill to use. It's fairly cheap to use. As you can see, it only costs 1,253. I am an Imperial dragon, an Imperial tank is my race. I'll go over the races here in just a minute. But this does physical damage. Now it also steals 2200 armor, excuse me, from the enemy and gives that to you. So it strips armor as well as giving you more armor, and it also applies minor maim. Now the other thing that it does while you are in combat is this will generate Crux. It taunts the enemy, and then for every Crux that you have a reduced damage taken while the Crux are up. Now Crux lasts for 30 seconds. So if you have 3 Crux up, you're going to have 6% damage reduction from this skill. So let's go over the passives. While you are under the benefit of a Soldier Apocrypha skill, you get 3,271 armor. So you also have the 2,200 here, plus the 3,271. So you're getting quite a lot of armor from just one skill. It's totaling 5,471 armor. So it's just about what Major Resolve gives you, but this is unique, so it will stack with Major Resolve. This is just a very small amount of recovery. This is kind of not really that great in my opinion. Recoveries only tick 2 seconds, so this really equates to just about 40 recoveries a second, which is virtually nothing, so we'll skip that. This one gives your entire group minor evasion. So you're giving 2 buffs with this build, Minor Brutality and Minor Evasion. Then the last one here, you have to consume a Crux. I don't have enough points on this guy to purchase that yet, so I'll have to go out and get some Sky Shards to fill this final one in here. It will become a... now, if you want to, you can add the shield skill here is a Crux consumer. You can plug that in somewhere if you want to. Perhaps maybe put it on the back bar here and use that shield instead. But that's the passives for Soldier of Apocrypha. Those go together very well, but I'll go over my skills now. I have Defensive Stance. While slotted on your front bar here with the Sword and Board line, very powerful skill. You get increased, the amount of damage you can block is 10% more, and then you also get a reduction in the cost to block. Runic Sunder and Ingenious Shield I've already gone over. Shield Throw. This is one that's very popular on tank builds, but I run mine a little bit differently. I know a lot of people run this as a taunt, and I don't like doing that because it makes the taunt cost quite a bit of stamina, and it's a little bit hard to sustain. So what I did with mine is I make, as long as the first script that you use, the top one, will determine what type of resource it costs. So you can make the shields throw cost magicka. You just have to pick a magicka damage type, such as flame. I chose frost here, obviously. And then the middle one is a heal, and then major maim. So I also have the heal and the major maim, very similar to what everybody else does. I just wanted to change the top one to make it cost magicka because I like to save my stamina for blocking, and then the only stamina skill that I have is this Runic Sunder, and it's really not that hard to sustain that with the other stamina regenerating methods here. So the Chilling Throw, I like to use this. The frost damage is not game breaking or anything. It's just there to make this cost magicka instead of stamina. It's not there to go, oh my god, I'm going to destroy the enemy with this damage. That's not the point. It's there to make this cost magicka instead, so that you can save your stamina for this taunt here and for blocking. Now I have, from the Necromancer skill line, Necrotic Potency. While this is slotted, you get 3% damage reduction. So if you have 3 Crux here, there's 6%. 3 Crux, or excuse me, 3% here, that's 9% damage reduction. This also generates a ton of ultimate, and it heals you, and it does not cost anything to cast. You just have to have a corpse available. Multiple corpses is obviously even better. Reviving Barrier is slotted here in order to proc the helping, the Magicka Aid passive, which gives you 10% Magicka recovery just for slotting a skill from the support line. This is the reason why you always want to have Barrier on your front bar. This is not here to cast in most cases. This is simply here to increase your Magicka recovery. You don't want to put Warhorn or your other ultimate here. You want to have Barrier on your front bar, so that increases your Magicka recovery. All the skills on this build cost Magicka except for this one right here and this one right here. This is free. This one costs stamina. Everything else, this one's also free by the way, everything else on this build costs Magicka. So you want to keep your Magicka up in terms of recovery. You want to have that as high as you can on your tank builds. It makes your life a lot easier if you can continue to cast your spells and you don't run out of resources. Okay, so the back bar, we've already gone over the Summoner's Armor and what that does. Now this is the Mage's Guild Scribing skill. I made this pretty much the most common iteration, I believe. This has a damage shield tied to it and the reduced damage taken for 8%, so that stacks with the 9% that I have up here on the front, so that's another 8, so that's 17% damage reduction if you keep it up. Now I know that is not additive, that's going to be multiplicative, but for simplicity of explanation, that's what I'm going to talk about. Then you have the 5% reduced damage taken from minor protection, so there's another 5 on top of the 17, bringing it up to 22. And then we have our methods of getting major and minor breach in the build right here. When you lay down your frost blockade and then you hit an enemy with elemental susceptibility, this is an extremely strong skill. The first second of this, they apply Burning, Chilled, and Concussed. Now the important part to pay attention to there is the chilled part, because in your blockade, chilled enemies are inflicted with minor breach, and this skill inflicts them with major breach. So that is going to be 100% uptime, major, minor breach, just with those right there. So you always want to try and put your wall down first and then hit them with the elemental susceptibility. That way they are gonna get that first tick of the status effect while the wall is already down. If you hit the elemental susceptibility first and then the wall, you may have a lag in having that stuff apply properly. So keep that in mind. And then last, on my back bar, I have my chains, which is just the leeching soul, the wield soul scribing skill. It's got the pull, the resource restoration, and the major cowardice. So on this build I have major cowardice, major maim, minor maim, all damage reduction, and then of course magma shell. If you have trouble, you can go immortal with this. There are other ultimates here. You could buy the Gibbering Shield, of course. A lot of people don't understand that Magma Shell actually does give a shield to your group as well. It's not just 100% selfish. you do give a damage shield equal to their max health for 12 seconds, and this will stack with barrier. So something to keep in mind there. You cannot generate ultimate so this is while this is active, so that is kind of a bummer. They changed that. But Gibbering Shield here is also very strong. This also gives a damage shield to your allies. This one only lasts for 10 seconds. Magma Shell lasts for 12. They cost exactly the same, so I guess it just depends on... this does provide a bigger damage shield, so just keep that in mind. So, let's go over the... I suppose... Well, I should probably go over... So once again, I am an Imperial, and why I choose Imperial, and I have for years now, the resistance game that you get with the Nord and the Ultimate Generation is just not going to be as game-breaking anymore with all the methods of getting Ultimate from everybody's skill lines, as well as how easy it is to get to the resistance cap anymore. It's just a lot better, in my opinion, to get an Imperial, and the reason I'll go over the reasons why here now. You get 1% extra gold, yippee. Also, you have 2,000 extra max health and 2,000 extra stamina. Those two are the biggest that you can get from a race, and those will save you in the department of when you are doing your attributes. For example, on here I have 34 into health and 30 into stamina, and as you can see, I have quite a large health bar here. You could probably even back that off even more and develop more into stamina and kind of find the sweet spot. For right now, I'm just going to start with that where I'm at. I may adjust that down the road, we'll see. And then you have a reduced cost to all of your abilities. That counts for ultimate, that counts for everything that you're running. So you may notice that barrier normally costs 250 for most people. This is 235 on this race because of the 6% damage reduction. So keep that in mind. So all the basic things are selected. Your armor passives, Undaunted, you know, all the normal stuff here. All the passives that you can get them. So let's see. Let's go over the gear. I have a Sword of the Trainee in the Decisive trait to give me more ultimate, with a Hardening glyph that gives me a damage shield. Then I have a Druid's Braid in Divine's shield. Both of these together give me more max health. Oh, I forgot to go over the... I have the Atronach for my Mundus, by the way. That's very standard on tank builds. I would say always go with the Atronach. That is the best one to have. So, back to the gear. For my monster helm, as you can tell by looking at it, it's Baron Zaldris, and I will go over why I have this in a second. This is an insanely good ultimate generator. This goes very well with elemental susceptibility because this triggers off of status effects, and the very first second that you apply the elemental susceptibility skill, you apply 3 status effects. So if you have everything else in your build taken care of in your rotation, your major resolve, taunt, shield, and all that, you want to cast elemental susceptibility, and you will generate 4 ultimate every time you do that. This can proc once every second. So this is very powerful. then I'm running the perfected Lucent Echoes set. This increases your healing taken, it gives you minor Aegis, 2 lines of max health, and then while you are above 50% health, you give your group increased critical healing and damage in the amount of 11% as long as they are within 28 meters of you. If you happen to dip below 50%, you get a reduced damage taken from monsters by 20%. This is extremely powerful for tanking, and it is very good for your group because it gives a unique 11% crit damage to your group. Makes it very easy to reach the crit damage cap in your group. Now this is just the first build in my overall trials team. I will be making additional videos on other builds that kind of plug in and build with this. Now the third set that I am running, this is different because I'm sure a lot of people would argue, oh, this is stupid or whatever. I looked at how subclassing has changed the game. Penetration is taken care of. Crit damage is handled. How do you help your group? What do you bring to the group that you can buff the group with? And I've landed on this set right here. This is the Glacial Guardian set. This comes from Coral Airy. How this set works, it's got a line of armor, max stamina, both good stats there. However, on the back bar, the fourth stat there kind of sucks, but it doesn't get activated very often. When you are blocking an enemy, you put a tether on them that does frost damage. That's not a big deal there. The second part of this is, in my opinion, huge. You add a 200% status effect chance to your group. And why is that important? Well, typical setup for most DPS is to run dual wield daggers, 1 Nirnhoned and 1 charged. The charged dagger gives them the extra application of status effect. Now, if you run this and keep this up, then they may be able to switch that charged dagger to a precise dagger and increase their critical chance. Just something to think about. Now, I've not ran this in an actual trial yet, but I'm going to show you how this works on, I am in Asylum Sanctorium, as you can see. So let's just go over how this works. Now I am on normal difficulty, I'm not trying to do anything crazy here. I'm just in here so I can display how this set works and how the build runs basically. So you can do this, get your buffs up. Oh, and by the way, an easy way to get both of your shields at the same time, this Ulsfold contingency is delayed, so as long as you don't cast anything, like there it's on, but if I hit it again, there, you can have both shields at the same time. So what you want to do is you want to taunt, lay down your wall, and hit that. And I'll just go into Magma Shell right here so I can drain my ultimate. And as soon as okay, so now I have the Magma Shell turned off. Now I can sit here and spam Elemental Susceptibility, and you can watch how fast that goes up. And there you go, I already have my ultimate back up. And so that's how that works. So now let's show you. There's the tether. Got a little bit too far away there. There's the tether there. You can bar swap with it, in case you're wondering. You can bar swap with the Glacial Guardian set. It does work. So that's just something to think about. This guy doesn't even hurt on normal. I don't know why I'm blocking. You do have to block to activate the Glacial Guardian. There it is. You can take block off if you want to, and it still holds. But that's essentially how it works. You just want to block once every 8 seconds on your back bar. Just like that. You can see the tether. And that's how that works. So, I don't know how long it'll take for this guy to kill me. So I can reset here and go over the other stuff on the build. So we've gone over the gear, gone over the skills, so let's go over the CP. Awesome new stuff. They reduced all the stuff here to cost less on the green tree, so you can slot more stuff here. But for the blue tree, I have Ironclad, Duelister buff, Enduring Resolve, and Unassailable. Those are the 4 best ones to do. And then up here I have always Boundless Vitality and Fortified, Bastion for increased shields, and Bracing Armor. So that's the CP. Okay, so let's look at the build when it's buffed up. So now these lines here are not going to show 100% because I don't have something taunted, but you can see here pretty good mag recovery. Let me travel to my house and I can just hit a dummy or something to show. What the armor looks like when it's fully loaded and everything. You'll be well above the resistance cap as long as you keep the runic sunder. Okay, so there's Major Resolve, Minor Resolve, and then there's Runic Sunder there. And as you can see, I'm at 35,000 resistances, which is well above the resistance cap by about 2,000. So that's going to be it for my build. Thank you for watching. I'm going to make more builds for more build videos for the rest of the Trials team that I think really goes together well with bringing all the buffs that you can for a group. And also everybody gets to take part in the subclassing without really kind of sacrificing something in that category, but still being optimal. So I'm going to make some more videos and post them. Thanks for watching. Go to my YouTube channel if you're interested in this. I have I guess they're called playlists. I've been calling them folders To me, they look like folders. Go to my channel, check out my playlists that you can see. I have different categories of playlists there that I've made for different subjects of Elder Scrolls Online. Check them out, see if there's anything else there that might interest you. Thanks for watching. See ya.